Good afternoon. On behalf of the administration and faculty of the College of Education, it is my pleasure to welcome the Fall 2021 graduates, families, and friends to the College of Education's commencement ceremony. This is a proud time for all of us, and we're really especially excited to do this all together today, so welcome. I'm Beth Malik, Senior Associate Dean in the College of Education, and I'd like to start by acknowledging our platform guests, which include the chairs of our 5 academic departments, associate deans, and we are also joined by Dr. Emilio Zamora, a professor of history in the College of Liberal Arts, as well as 2 of our graduates who will bring a few words to the graduating class, John Gray and Allison Zingalowski, and our commencement speaker, Dr. Angela Valenzuela. We also have 2 faculty marshals seated in the audience. I can't see them because the lights are pretty bright. Antoinette Stanley Hart and Dixie Stanforth. If you could please rise so we could acknowledge you. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you the Dean of the College of Education, Dr. Charles R. Martinez, Jr. Dean Martinez holds the Lee Haig Jamel Regents Chair in Education and the Sid W. Richardson Regents Chair. Dean Martinez is a nationally recognized scholar on organizational equity, cross-cultural research, and community engagement. Dr. Martinez has led numerous national and international research projects and garnered federal and international grants totaling more than $35 million. And since his arrival at our college 3 years ago, he's done amazing things inside the college. Please welcome Dean Charles Martinez.
Good afternoon. We are here, finally, 3-dimensional space. Your college faculty and staff could not be more excited to celebrate with you today. It is so important for us to gather to celebrate this amazing accomplishment and major milestone in your life. We are so proud of you and so excited for what the future holds. We would also like to acknowledge that we are meeting on indigenous lands of Turtle Island, the ancestral home for what is now called North America. Moreover, we would like to acknowledge the Alabama Coushatta, the Caddo, Corizo, Comecrudo, Cohiltecan, Comanche, Kickapoo, Lipan Apache, Tonkawa, and Isleta del Sur Pueblo, and all the American Indian and indigenous peoples and communities who have been or have become a part of these lands and territories in Texas. As I stand here on this special day, I am filled with many emotions. As a member of our College of Education Longhorn community, I am ecstatic to be here with your loved ones and in person to share your smiles, tears of joy, and as we celebrate your remarkable accomplishments with all of the pomp and circumstance that you so richly deserve. I would also like to recognize those in your support systems that are watching the live stream. Thank you for tuning in to celebrate our graduates. I am so incredibly proud of the sacrifice, commitment, and astonishing effort each of you has put into earning your degree from the College of Education here at UT. Your accomplishment is profound in and of itself. You have devoted yourself to rigorous and demanding work in order to achieve this goal. It is a labor that is more important now than ever, as the work we do in health and education has never been more vital than in this moment, during and after a public health crisis that has disrupted all of our lives. The fact that you persevered to achieve this goal in the midst of a global pandemic is even more remarkable. And because I know that none of us makes it through anything alone, I am also acutely aware of the support you have undoubtedly received from your families and friends, from your communities, from your peers and your colleagues. If this pandemic has shown us anything, it has shown us the enormous importance of our connections to one another, connections both as fragile as they are deep and abiding. And so I want to take this time to recognize those who have helped lift you up so that you can go on to lift up so many others. Let's give a cheer of applause to all of the loved ones, friends, and cheerleaders in your lives who have made today possible. I also want to acknowledge our first-generation graduates today. As a first-generation college graduate myself, I join the University of Texas community in recognizing you. If you are the first in your family to be graduating from college, please know that we are so excited and so very honored to recognize you today. And remember, you might be the first in your family to graduate from college, but you will also be the last first-generation college student in your family. Those that come behind you will be standing on your shoulders as they seek their dream. Let's take a moment and cheer for our first-generation college student graduates. I mentioned that the work in education and health is more vital than ever. Disrupting education and health disparities was the focus of our work before the pandemic, and it is the work that is profoundly more important now. COVID-19 and the nation's reckoning with the roots of racial injustice have shone a light on how deep and seemingly intractable those disparities are. Yet, you have dedicated yourselves to a calling that is about ensuring the best possible future for others. You may have dedicated yourself to teaching in our schools, or to increasing the quality of people's health, or to uncovering ideas that reshape what we know and understand about these fields. Whatever you have chosen to do in earning your degree in education will have a profound impact on dismantling disparities and increasing equity for individuals and communities near and far. What you have started here in the halls of Sanchez and Belmont is meaningful work that will truly change the world. During the past 18 months, many of us have endured sleepless nights of worry about the future, our health and health of loved ones, and vast, divisive fractures of our political discourse. There are many things that have kept me personally up at night, but there are also many things that have made me leap out of bed. The critically important work we are doing to combat systemic inequities, the commitment of our community to work together across disciplinary lines to make a lasting impact for students, families, schools, and communities in Texas and beyond. But the most powerful source of inspiration for me has always been you, our students. At a time when all logic would tell you to run away from these challenging professions in education and health, and the headwinds and challenges that are so acute right now, you have held steadfast to your commitment to be in service to your communities. We are in awe of you. Today, we celebrate that work, your achievements thus far, as well as those to come. Today, we celebrate you. I'd like to welcome back Senior Associate Dean Beth Malik to introduce our student speakers. Welcome.
Thank you, Dean Martinez. It's now my pleasure to introduce our undergraduate student speaker, John Gray. John, an Austin native, is graduating today with his Bachelor of Science in Applied Learning and Development, Youth and Community Studies. He is at the top of his class and is receiving highest honors for his academic achievements. He is also receiving an English certification from the University of Texas Urban Teachers Program. Growing up, John noticed that none of his teachers looked like him. As a result, he decided to become a change agent, a role model, and an educator to motivate and engage others, particularly those who are overlooked in the educational system. He started his journey as an educator in high school by tutoring others in biology and working as an assistant in English language arts classes at the SciTech Preparatory Academy. In the spring semester, John spent his time planning lessons, grading papers, and leading classes in his role as a student teacher at Navarro High School, all while being a student himself. Getting an education has always been a priority in his family, and he is grateful to his mother and grandmother for instilling in him the importance of helping others and achieving academic success. After graduation, he plans on becoming an English teacher here in Austin. Join me in welcoming John Gray.
Thank you for the lovely introduction, and good afternoon, Dean Martinez, distinguished faculty, family and friends, and my fellow graduates. It is a true honor to be here to celebrate this occasion with all of you. In preparation for my speech today, I was asked to contemplate how I got here. What led me to the University of Texas at Austin? As I pondered this question, I realized that it wasn't one particular element, but rather several factors that led me here. A loving mother who would not allow me to give up led me here. A grandmother who always encouraged me led me here. Hi, y'all. A desire to serve others and a yearning to be a part of a great tradition led me here. And as a native Austinite, I must include that the Longhorns led me here. We can all name our own unique list of factors. I like to refer to them as ingredients. The people, the circumstances, the motivations that influence our determination to get here and to thrive here. There's at least one element, though, on each of our lists that I think we all share, and that is our collective response to a calling to reach out, a calling to nurture, a calling to foster understanding and the love of learning. The College of Education taught us how to respond to that calling. It embraced us in our dreams, and it prepared us well to help others chase their dreams. Whether our futures include vocations in teaching, advocacy, health education, or a path to counseling, we now have the tools we need to help make a difference in the world. That's why we're here after all, to help make a difference. I believe the College of Education has entrusted us with that mission. We'll carry the experiences we've had here and what the college and UT as an institution have given us for the rest of our lives. For example, I'll carry with me that sense of excitement I felt when the college gave me the opportunity to serve as a tutor to a student on the other side of the world. That experience changed the way I thought about building relationships and bonds of trust. It challenged me to think of places other than my own little corner of the world. It inspired me to reach out as far as I can in the service of others. Y'all know the type of feeling I'm talking about, because the College of Education connected us to so many of those kinds of meaningful opportunities. And you rose to those challenges that those opportunities presented you. You shine, fellow graduates, and I have every reason to believe that you will continue to shine. In closing, as we depart UT, I leave with a feeling of deepest gratitude for my classmates, for your thoughtfulness, for your determination, and for your sense of idealism. You really do believe that what starts here changes the world. I wish you bright futures, I wish you love, and I wish you happiness. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Our next student speaker is Allison Zingalowski, PhD candidate, but today, PhD graduate in the Department of Educational Psychology. Allison, originally from Vermont, is graduating with her PhD in Educational Psychology, concentrating in human development, culture, and learning sciences. Previously, she earned her bachelor's degree from Colgate University, where she majored in psychology and peace and conflict studies, and her master's degree specializing in quantitative methods from UT Austin. In her research, she integrates cognitive, motivational, and social-emotional perspectives to investigate student learning, delving into questions of how autonomy and belonging play a role in the way students talk in online discussions, and considering what are learners' experiences of confusion in in-person and online environments. She also has a passion for teaching, often conducting research in her own courses to help improve her pedagogy. After earning her degree, she will begin as a postdoctoral scholar with the Center of the Mind and Brain at the University of California, Davis. She will be collaborating on a multi-institutional project to develop a comprehensive system of support for 6th grade math instruction for students from historically disenfranchised groups. Join me in welcoming Allison Zingalowski.
Good afternoon. I've been thinking about a lot of things recently, 3 in particular: time, words, and people. Our time here at UT has been interesting. I assume if any of you are like me, it is not at all what we expected. Though we could consider our time here cut short, displaced from the physical classrooms and informal learning spaces, maybe it was that our time was reappropriated. Perhaps you were able to spend more time with your family, with your loved ones, your friends, yourself. Maybe you spent time evaluating how learning could occur outside of the classroom, how other hobbies or sources of intellectual stimulation served your needs. Maybe for the first time, you prioritized yourself over your academics. And though I could make jokes about how maybe I shouldn't say that in front of the dean and all of the faculty present, the messages we've received from them have been encouraging us, giving us the time, or encouraging us to take the time for our mental and emotional health. And I hope that each of you, especially those advancing into a teaching or helping profession, have learned how to advocate for your time. Though it can be easy, perhaps conceived as necessary, to give much of yourself and your time to your students and colleagues, you will not be able to sustain yourself. So here, I hope you think about how can you reclaim your time in the service of yourself and of others. A few weeks ago, at an informal graduation celebration with my research lab, my advisor, Dr. Diane Schallert, was asked to share a few words. Now, in total transparency, I was practicing in my head what I was going to say when it was my turn, so I don't remember her sentiments exactly. But one topic she began to explore was this idea of words. There are so many words that lead us to this very point. The words you wrote in your applications to UT, the words you shared, fumbled over, co-constructed, were embarrassed or inspired by in classroom discussions. The words you read in textbooks and articles that changed your way of thinking. The words that you placed in concert for final assignments, theses, and dissertations. The words your friends and mentors shared when you felt like an imposter. The words spoken or written about you in letters of recommendation or for awards. The words your loved ones sent when you had a big presentation or weren't sure how you were going to keep going. So how might we linger on these words? Be intentional with them as we move into positions of power. And similar to words, there have been an incredible number of people who have supported us in, throughout, and soon to be beyond our time in the College of Education. And though being online may have led many of us to feel disconnected from these important people, lonely as our conceptions of what learning and education looked like were disrupted, there are important components I hoped it helped us to consider. For example, as access to the physical classroom ceased, how did that serve to create a more inclusive space for disabled learners? In one of my courses this semester on Disability and Culture in Education, taught by Dr. Stephanie Cawthon, one of my peers wrote a response to some questions I had in an online discussion. Hannah Zerko, who is graduating with us today and who is deaf, shared, quote, "I, for one, noticed less obvious discrimination with some things going online, such as someone not speaking directly to me, being really awkward about interpreters or captioners, not having my input asked during meetings in person, getting angry at me if I did not understand something the first or second time. I also noticed that I did not stand out as much in a physical classroom, which led to my being able to speak up more easily in discussions, contribute more in class, and not have to deal with certain social issues like isolation in the physical company of others due to communication barriers." So I ask all of you to consider the ways that our shift in instructional modality and in frame of mind have made learning more inclusive and also less accessible. How can we continue to disrupt conventional educational spaces and curricula to improve the system for all learners? And I would be remiss not to consider the loss of people that we have faced during our tenures. Myself, I lost my father during the second year of my program. I am confident that many of you have faced similar tragedies and had to consider how to pick yourself up the next day, the next month, the next year. Your resiliency in the face of personal and global catastrophe should be recognized and lauded. And this loss of loved ones, of words, of time will help us to bring a unique empathy to those we teach and learn from in the future. Rather than feign we can or should just move on, I want us to consider, how can we be open with our grief, to process as a collective, to be more human and to care for other humans? I would not be here without the strength and support of the community and coven I've found in the College of Education. And I hope, if you feel the same, that you share your sentiments with them. To those who inspire us and inspire change, challenge us and challenge inequities, call us out and call us in, we're here because of you. And to all of you earning your degrees today, I hope you have an immense sense of pride in how you have enriched this place and each other. And I'll leave you with one last question. How will you take what you've learned as part of the College of Education and give your time meaning, ensure your words have purpose, and be a force for support and change within your community? Thank you.
Thank you so much to our student speakers, John and Allison. It is now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Angela Valenzuela. Dr. Valenzuela is a professor in the Department of Educational Leadership and Policy and the director of the University of Texas Center for Education Policy. A Stanford University graduate, her previous teaching positions included in sociology at Rice University in Houston, as well as a visiting scholar position at the Center for Mexican American Studies at the University of Houston. She is also the author of award-winning Subtractive Schools, U.S. Mexican Youth and the Politics of Caring, Leaving Children Behind, How Texas-Style Accountability Fails Latino Youth, and Growing Critically Conscious Teachers, a social justice curriculum for educators of Latino, Latina youth. She also founded and operates an education blog titled Educational Equity, Politics, and Policy in Texas. And she has served as co-editor of the Journal of Qualitative Studies in Education, as well as the Anthropology and Education Quarterly. A previous Fulbright scholar, Dr. Valenzuela spent the 2007-2008 academic year in Mexico, where she taught in the College of Law at the University of Guanajuato and conducted research in the areas of immigration, human rights, and binational relations. Most recently, Dr. Valenzuela was inducted into the National Academy of Education just this year, one of only 2 scholars, we believe, here at UT who have ever earned this field-level honor. Dr. Valenzuela's research and teaching interests are in the sociology of education, minority youth in schools, educational policy, urban education reform, culturally relevant curriculum, ethnic studies, and indigenous education. Please welcome mi amiga y colega, Dr. Angela Valenzuela.
Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. Today we gather to celebrate the graduation of undergraduate and graduate students from the College of Education at the University of Texas at Austin. Felicidades, congratulations, super exciting. Much gratitude to our students and each family for having accompanied us through this difficult time period of a pandemic, an epic winter storm, a racial justice movement, political division and strife, Zoom and hybrid classes, synchronous and non-synchronous, online, remote, and in-person modalities that have not only given us a new vocabulary and skills, but a new sense of the present. Ongoing news reports have often characterized this moment as an inflection point. This means a turning point that can turn in a positive or negative direction. We do have a choice, and we make choices every day, not just what to do, but who to be. The pandemic reminds us that our beingness, who we are and how we be, is just as important as what we do. May we contemplate through these words I share today how this coming together of our doingness and beingness signal the direction that this turning point takes. Renowned novelist and human rights and ecological movement activist Arundhati Roy asks in her April 2020 essay published in the Financial Times, how can we make the world anew? The answer, she posits, is in the virus itself, if we will only allow it, through the lessons we have learned, to be a portal to a better world. To cast this moment in this way is not at all to minimize the uncertainties, stresses, and crises you have experienced throughout, with a good number among us experiencing enormous strife, hardship, and tragic loss in the context of this extended period of illness, lockdown, and restrictions. To the contrary, we honor you and are mindful of those who are no longer with us, including friends and family members who had plans to be here celebrating your remarkable accomplishments. We trust that they are here with us in spirit today. Adding to this loss of rituals, observances, vacations, family visits, and the like that have taxed our souls and psyches, frequently leaving us feeling decentered and oftentimes adrift. At the same time, we have begun to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Recent news on the imminent COVID variant headed our way complicates matters, making it hard to fully anticipate what lies in store for us in the coming weeks and months. Roy's notion of a portal to a new, better world holds nonetheless. I think most of us agree that the world has shifted and that many things won't go back to what we had taken for granted as normal. As disconcerting as this thought can be, I want to make a few observations about the pandemic experience that suggest why we should remain hopeful and positive. Specifically, I point to 6 areas of growth that hold enormous promise for us as individuals and as a society going forward. First, we relearned the important lesson of being flexible. Planning is essential, goals and targets are as well. However, if you're flexible and adaptable, not only was life easier, but you made the best of a less than ideal situation. And now you are here, an exceptional generation with a major story to tell about mid-course shifts and adjustments while remaining true to yourself and following your North Star. Second, the pandemic reinforced the notion of just how much we all depend on one another. Despite individualist American lore, no one is ever truly self-sufficient. The reason I am here today is the same reason you are here today. It's that my parents and family loved me, my grandparents too, and encouraged me to pursue my wildest dreams. And you're all also here because you too are loved, deeply loved, and you had a few good teachers, and probably more than just a few. Let's love our teachers and mentors. Third, so much of what we used to take for granted is now more meaningful. Simple acts of kindness became less random and more sincere. Smiles and well wishes, more heartwarming. I feel confident that we as staff and faculty, we all share in the joy of running into our students and into each other in the hallways, during lunch, or in the parking lot. Little did we know that we had it so good when called upon to attend that occasional 8 a.m. breakfast taco staff meeting, that 12 o'clock p.m. brown bag talk, or the afternoon office hours to meet with you, our gifted and brilliant students. I recently met with one such student from our 2020 cohort who said that she wanted to meet me in my office, feeling that she might graduate, never having had the opportunity to see me and talk to me in person. The feeling was heartfelt and mutual. Fourth, I trust that we all also have a fresh sense and appreciation for giddiness, for being giddy, just being in the presence of others, especially dear friends and family with whom we have not physically interacted in a good while, stimulates that sense of excitement and newness that the word giddiness conveys. It's almost childlike. Above and beyond the obvious delight of graduation, don't we all feel just a tad giddy right now? Just to be together is wonderful, not remotely, but physically, in the flesh. Don't your legs feel a little rubbery just to be here in this space today? I know mine do. It's a sensation beyond feeling nervous or jittery. In Spanish, the closest word for giddy might be mareada or mareado, a little dizzy. ¿Te sientes un poco mareada o mareado hoy? Quizás, yo sí, pero viene de la novedad de estar juntos en persona. My sense of giddiness comes from the novelty of being in person. After all, our last 2 commencement ceremonies were remote. These observations hint at how we ourselves have changed personally and professionally from this experience of a pandemic. Every day of life is precious. Every human being matters. May we invoke the sacred way contained in the Mayan concept of Inlaquech, which is the indigenous version of the Golden Rule. Tú eres mi otro yo. You are my other me. Si te hago daño a ti, if I do harm to you, me hago daño a mí mismo, I do harm to myself. Si te amo y respeto, if I love and respect you, me amo y respeto yo. I love and respect myself. May this wisdom for planetary peace and justice be the beingness that accompanies our doingness. Fifth, in a new way, we learned that we could be simultaneously professional and compassionate. I remember after the spring break in 2020, after things shut down and all seemed in disarray, that a beautiful and natural discourse on grace surfaced. Showing grace, having grace, giving grace were expressions of love and caring that we certainly heard in our college and I imagine throughout the university. I remember thinking, wow, did Dean Martinez just say that? Did I just hear Dr. Victor Sines, my department chair, say that? Their words of encouragement were the much needed salve for the soul. In the schools, we similarly heard a lot about socio-emotional learning and how that needed to be our focus. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. May we all walk a path so wonderfully perfumed. Finally, our appreciation for one another has been enhanced. I have the distinct impression from my own experience, these past 1.5 years of being out of the classroom and re-entering this fall, that our students were noticeably happier, even excited about being together. Just being together was its own reward. Even in online environments, I imagine that most of our classrooms were largely experienced by our students as sanctuaries, a special place of comfort, a kind of ironic, if welcomed, grounding for a world that has felt upside down. All of these learnings that speak to the heart provide clues to that grander expansion vision of that better world that is within reach. We've lived it. And how awesome for all of us to imagine ourselves as not solely more credentialed, but more loving, more caring, more forgiving, and more compassionate, because our consciousness is less one of separateness and division, and more one of greater interrelatedness and interconnectedness, where this is not an abstraction, but a lived experience. Albert Einstein once said that when we experience ourselves as separate from the whole of the universe, this is an optical delusion that places limits on our consciousness. This delusion, he said, is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circles of compassion, to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. As we emerge from this pandemic and the many lessons we have learned, how provocative and evocative for us to think of the world as more beautiful today than before, and ourselves as more comfortable in that empty space that allows us to glimpse into our souls and grasp our own limitless potential for love, forgiveness, caring, and compassion. You, our 2021 graduates from the University of Texas at Austin, are the generation of destiny for a world that beckons you to weave creation in the midst of chaos, to author a fresh, redemptive narrative of the human experience that allows us all to survive, thrive, and perfect the union. A heartfelt congratulations again to the class of 2021. You made it. Godspeed, love and light. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you very much. Hook 'em.
A big thank you to Dr. Valenzuela for those inspirational words. Faculty marshals, Please usher our faculty members and the master's and doctoral candidates to the stage. Now for the moment you have all been waiting for. It's happening, it's happening. I'd like to first welcome Dr. Alex Lucas, our Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Studies, to announce the names of our master's and doctoral candidates. After she comes forward, and after our graduate students walk, Richard Ojeda, Assistant Dean of Student Affairs, will announce the names of our bachelor degree candidates.
Good afternoon. I'm Alexandra Lucas. I'm the Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Studies. I've had the pleasure of getting to know many of you while you've been here at UT in the College of Education. Today, I have the great honor of recognizing and introducing the master's and doctoral candidates of the College of Education's Fall 2021 graduating class. Graduate students will receive the Master of Arts, Master of Education, Master of Science, Doctor of Philosophy, and Doctor of Education in the following 5 departments: Curriculum and Instruction, Educational Leadership and Policy, Educational Psychology, Kinesiology and Health Education, and Special Education. In addition to crossing the stage, the master's and doctoral graduates will have a hood placed on their shoulders by a faculty member. The tradition of hooding, which is what you're going to see today, dates back centuries when academics wore them to stay warm. Today, the hood is mostly symbolic and represents one's commitment to a life of scholarship. The act of hooding, from teacher to student, also holds great significance and marks the completion of their studies. Now we will present the graduates of the class of 2021, and we're going to begin with our master's students. Stuart Irvin, Doctor of Philosophy, Educational Psychology. I just want to make a correction. We are introducing and recognizing our graduates who are receiving their doctoral degrees today. First. Megan Rojo, Doctor of Philosophy, Special Education. Tracy Washington, Doctor of Education, Educational Leadership and Policy. Allison Zenkalowski, Doctor of Philosophy, Educational Psychology. Tanya Jones, Doctor of Education, Kinesiology and Health Education. Ismenia Ramirez, Master of Education, Educational Psychology. Now I have the pleasure of introducing our master's candidates. Suana Ahmed, Master of Science, Kinesiology and Health Education. Skylar Bonneau, Master of Education, Kinesiology and Health Education. Michaela Darden, Master of Education, Kinesiology and Health Education. Brandon Schutz, Master of Education, Educational Psychology. Tamara Patterson, Masters of Education and Special Education. Leslie Onofre, Masters of Education, Special Education. Chloe Roger, Masters of Education, Special Education. Emily Reedy, Masters of Education, Special Education. Sarah Sorab, Masters of Education, Special Education. Derek Mimbella, Master of Science, Kinesiology and Health Education. Sherry Grainer Ray, Master of Education, Kinesiology and Health Education. Andrew Schleisman, Master of Education, Curriculum and Instruction. Bridget Silman, Master of Education, Educational Psychology. Hannah Zerko, Master of Education, Educational Leadership and Policy. Amber Fowler, Master of Education, Curriculum and Instruction. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to present the College of Education Class of 2021 Master's and Doctoral Graduates. Now I'll invite Richard Ojeda to the podium to announce the bachelor degree candidates.
Good afternoon. I'm Richard Ojeda, the Assistant Dean of Student Affairs for the College of Education. Over the past 4 years, the advising staff and I have gotten to know a lot of you through your years of advising in our office, and we can't express how excited we are to finally be here with you all today. Today, it is my honor to recognize the Bachelor of Science candidates in the College of Education's Fall 2021 graduating class. Undergraduate students will be receiving a Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology and Health or a Bachelor of Science in Applied Learning and Development. The graduates receiving honors will be announced, and honors are based on the current cumulative GPA. And I'm going to say that again. It is based on your current cumulative GPA. So projects, papers that were due last week, finals that are coming up this coming week, those all are going to factor in, so keep studying. Now we will present the graduating class of 2020, and we will begin with the Bachelor of Science in Applied Learning and Development. Brina Newton, graduating with highest honors. Hanfei Hong. John Gray, graduating with highest honors. Kylie Cantrell. Jonathan Rodriguez. Sydney Peterson. And we all want to wish Sydney good luck in tonight's match. Kaylee Hare. Montrell Estelle. Ana Isabel Garcia. Ernesto Mendoza. Christine O'Connor. Jacob Staffier. Haruka Yoshimori. Athena Vasquez. Chloe Capadali. Sylvia Torres. Callista Guerrero. Erica Williams. Ashley Navarro, graduating with highest honors. Darren Wagner, graduating with high honors. Ashley Median. Cameron Bevers, graduating with honors. Kenja Crow. Kelly Dahl, graduating with highest honors. Kayla Lavash, graduating with honors. Sarah Diaz Eason. Aspen De La Cruz. Maria Sanchez. Lindsay Sproles. And now our Bachelor of Science candidates in Kinesiology and Health. Juan Moreno. Catherine Hernandez. Sofia Rodriguez, graduating with honors. Inabong Ephraim, graduating with honors. Oluwafemi Yemi Ese. Fernanda Labrana. Caitlin Timberlake. Jenny Malone. Morgan Rocco. Catherine Sexton. Kartik Akihal. Jared Wiley. Christian Jones. Rafidi Gurmai. Morris Clark, Jr. Jennifer Gutierrez. Jared Staley, graduating with highest honors. Kyle Perret. Daniel Torres. Alejandra Gutierrez, graduating with honors. Amy Becker. Ryan Barriga. Rodolfo Alanis. Jariah Taylor. Bailey Gronez. Gabrielle Wagispack, graduating with high honors. Jared Lucetto. Brock Wilson. Emmanuel Brett Falayan. Joshua Brewer. Carter Brown. Hannah Gloria, graduating with honors. Deli Adeoye. Alvante Woodard. BJ Foster. Joshua Thompson. Anthony Cook. Tremaine Prudhomme. Jeffrey Dow. Daniel Vialva. Marion Watkins. Ashley Hardebeck. Judy Wynn, graduating with honors. Caroline Casillas, graduating with honors. Jenna Bowen. Nicholas Awad. Mackenzie Walters. Alyssa Kreitzer. Dylan Waters. Luis Gomez. Kyle Sue. Isaiah Marua. Tyler Fambro.
Dear friends, familia, comunidad, I present to you the fall 2021 graduates of the College of Education at the University of Texas at Austin. Congratulations. Class of 2021, you have so much to be proud of. Today is your day to shine. And I know, we all know, that your light will burn a bright, burnt orange for all the days ahead. Felicidades, hook 'em horns. I and members of the stage party will be in the front courtyard in a few minutes to greet and take photos with our graduates and guests. We look forward to celebrating with you outside. Graduates, please rise and recess. Families and friends, please give the graduates a moment to exit. then you are free to leave and find your graduate in the front courtyard.
Thank you.